This is Darrell Scott, and this is Real Life, Real Music.
Real Life, Real Music Radio with your host, Kyle Hutton.
All right. So, Darrell and I got to catch up a little bit. I need to go back to the archives and see exactly when it was, but from what we can remember, it's been at least a decade since we've sat down with each other.
Yeah, it's a blur. I have no idea the difference between 2005 and last week. Time just does that to me. I don't know what it is.
It's funny how that can happen. You know, you've just reinforced every stereotype people have about musicians.
Well, if the shoe fits, wear it in.
There you go.
I'm definitely one of those.
Wear it well. Well, welcome back. Thank you for being here. These are. I told you at dinner that my favorite shows that I can remember over the past 19 years are when I get to sit with somebody that I feel like holds the craft of songwriting with the kind of reverence that I feel like you do. So thank you for that. Thank you for being committed to that.
Thank you, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you all kinds of questions and lead you all over the place today, but before I start to do that, I wonder if you would just pick one song that you would like to start us off with tonight.
Yeah, okay. Let's see here. I was thinking of this song right here. And basically, I wrote this somewhere around the age of 50. And yes, that means I'm older than 50 right now. And what I noticed at 50 was when I was looking back at 20 and 30 and 40 and all that, I found that there was an order to my life and places I had been and why I left this place and joined this and that and the other, where I can promise you when I was 20 looking forward, there was no order to anything. It was all just a ball of confusion. But that's what we get when we get to look backwards. And so that's where this song kind of comes from, is looking back and seeing an order that I promise I never saw on the front end of it. It's called A Crooked Road. Well, I walk a crooked road to get where I am going. To get where I am going, I must walk a crooked road. And only when I'm looking back, I see the straight and narrow. I see the straight and narrow when I walk a crooked road. Well, I sing a lonesome song to anyone who'll listen. To anyone who'll listen, I will sing my lonesome song. And when I hear you singing too, the sorrow sounds hopeful. The sorrow sounds so hopeful when I sing my lonesome song. And a lonesome song will be my true companion when all else has abandoned for singing of their own. And a lonesome song will fill my days with gladness, make joy out of sadness when I sing this lonesome song to you. Well, I love with all my heart. There is no way of stopping. I have no way of stopping. I just love with all my heart. Through the broken and the beautiful, the bad news and the good news. The bad news and the good news is I love with all my heart. And a loving heart will be my true companion when all else has abandoned for loving of their own. And a loving heart will long to be a happy man in this life that I am given. In this life that I am given, I long to be a happy man. And when the noise turns to stillness, I see I have the makings. I see I have the makings to be one happy man. And a happy man will be my true companion when all else has abandoned for happy of their own. And a happy man will fill my days with gladness, make joy out of sadness when I show this happy man. And a happy man will be my true companion when all else has abandoned for happy of their own. And a happy man will fill my days with gladness, make joy out of sadness when I show this happy man to you. Well, I walk a crooked road to get where I am going. To get where I am going, I must walk a crooked road. And only when I'm looking back, I see the straight and narrow. I see the straight and narrow when I walk a crooked road.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, okay, because I'm going to guess that there would be nobody in here that would argue that they probably never lived in a time where there was as much noise.
Yeah.
As much noise as there is now, right?
Yeah, we all can
deal
kind of
with.
testify to that. It does feel very noisy, very busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that. That's true.
So where are those places for you where that noise tapers off? Because I love that line in that song. I love that spot.
Well, actually, music is one of those things that does that for me, where the rest of the world just kind of falls away for a while. You know, it doesn't stay there, but it falls away for a while because I'm listening to something else, some kind of inspiration or something that says, hey, go get the guitar, go get the pad of paper, and follow this. It's calling me toward it. So my job is to pay attention to that and go toward it. And the other place that does that for me, that quiet, is nature. So I live on a big piece of land in Tennessee, about 2 hours east of Nashville, up on the Cumberland Plateau. And nature does that for me. You know, you just get out there, go for a walk, maybe not have a plan of where you're going to go, and just kind of follow your nose. And actually writing songs and going on a walk that you don't know where you're going to go are they're very closely related. You could have, okay, I'm going to go up to that mountain, or I'm going to go do that. And you can do that in songs too. But I like the surprises. I like not knowing what's going to happen next, so that I'm surprised by it. And I feel like that there's something to it. It brought me something. Yeah. And I'm paying attention to that kind of stuff.
Mm. Yeah. I covet those moments now.
Yeah.
More than ever, where things are peaceful.
Yeah, and maybe we can do that at this age.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's
true.
true.
More than those the other 2/3 of our lives or careers. Yeah, the quieter, older years.
Some of the young people in here are going, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Give me a drink.
Have one for me too.
That's cool too. Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to jump, I want to just jump to one of my favorite Darrell Scott songs, and it's a song called "You'll Never Leave Harlan Alive." And first, do you have a number of how many people have recorded that song?
No, I don't. But oddly enough, I think it's been recorded more than any other song of mine. Yeah. And here's an irony. It's the most personal song. In a way, it's my family story, is what it literally is. And you could think like, well, when you're telling about your family story, something very personal, the rest of the world kind of can't come into it. But that's one of those ironies again. It's the opposite. The more I find that I go inside to myself about my family story or anything else, the more it seems to open up to the outer world. I can't explain that, but that's an example. I literally wrote this song about my family leaving Harlan County, Kentucky, which was a coal mining area of Kentucky, maybe about 100 years ago or more. And then they moved to poor farming of Kentucky. And that's what the song's about. And I mentioned my grandmother's name in there. I mentioned the hill my great-grandfather came down to court, my great-grandmother, and rivers, and there's absolute detail in the song. And yet it's been recorded more than any other song of mine.
And I mean, I would have to imagine, just like how I felt as a little kid, being drawn to the words of the people that wrote them don't y'all think there's something to being able to detect authenticity? You know? Yeah. Like you know it. You know when something's true. And maybe that's what people are innately attracted to.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Yeah. You know, like you mentioned that you would see the writers of the song was also the singer of the song, because we can want to believe, and maybe I think it's there, that there is a more authentic kind of thread there, because they're not putting it on like, hey, I'm going to do this song from somebody else and this, that, and the other. That's fine when people do that. Yeah. I've been very lucky that folks recorded my songs, actually, on the same thing, but there is that direct, like I'm hearing from the writer, this is directly from that person who wrote this song. That's kind of a special deal.
It is. Well, would you play that one for us?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And would you say, is Paisley's version the biggest?
No, I would say Patty Loveless' version is the biggest. I mean, I'm glad that Brad recorded it. Patty did it first. Okay. And in both cases, they had me come in, like on Patty's version, I played banjo on it. And then on Brad's version, I think I played dobro on it. So, you know, and so I was part of actually the recording and not just the writing of it too. But yeah, probably most people know the Patty Loveless more, for whatever that reason is. Talk about authentic. Well, Brad knows it too, because he's from West Virginia, so he knows something about mining. And Patty Loveless is from Kentucky, and her father, you know, worked in the mines and died from lung disease from the mines. So in both cases, they knew what they were singing about here with this song. In the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky, that's the place where I trace my bloodline. And it's there I read on a hillside gravestone, said you will never leave Harlan alive. Well, my granddad's dad walked down Catarines Mountain, and he asked till he helped him to be his bride. Said, won't you walk with me out of the mouth of this holler, or we'll never leave Harlan alive. Where the sun comes up About 10 in the morning and the sun goes down. About 3 every day, and you fill your cup with whatever bitter brew you're drinking, and you spend your life just thinking of how to get away. No one ever knew there was coal in the mountains till the man from the northeast arrived. He was waving them $100 bills. He said, I'll pay you for your minerals. Oh, but he never left Harlan alive. Granny, she sold out cheap, and they moved out west of Pineville to a farm where big rich land river winds. And I bet they danced them a jig, and they laughed and sang a new song. Who said we'd never leave Harlan alive? Got hard and tobacco wasn't selling, and old granddad knew what he'd do to survive. Well, he went and dug for Harlan coal, and he sent the money back to Granny, but he never left Harlan alive. Where the sun comes up about 10 in the morning and the sun goes down about 3 every day, and you fill your cup, go on and fill it up with whatever bitter brew you're drinking, and you spend your life digging coal from the bottom of your grave, your grave. In the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky, that's the place where I trace my bloodline, and it's there gravestone, said you will never leave Harlan alive. Thank you, man. Such a great song. Thank you. Thank you.
Such a great song. Okay, so how old were you when you relocated to Nashville to be there and pound it out on the pavements there at Music Row?
I came what I consider late.
Okay.
I was 33.
All right.
And I knew about Nashville, of course. I grew up, in essence, studying country music because of my parents. They both loved country music. And so, our first vacation from northern Indiana ever, the first vacation my parents ever took was to Nashville. So we went to the Opry and go tour the country music stars' houses, drive by their houses and all that kind of stuff, tourist stuff. And then every other vacation we had was to Nashville.
Really?
yeah, like once we found that, it was like, okay, we keep going to that. But that's how big music was in our family. And so I knew about Nashville from age 6, easily. But I also knew enough about Nashville once I was a writer and artist and guitar player and all those things that I developed at a pretty young age. I wanted to avoid Nashville. I didn't want to go there until I was ready, and I wasn't ready until age 33. Because I had this idea that Nashville would kind of suck the originality out of myself, was my fear, and sort of, you know, put me in a box or make me plastic or something like that. This is all in my head, of course. We all know how authentic Nashville is. But anyway, I stayed away until I had my sort of artistic self together. Meaning I had songs that I loved. They weren't necessarily Nashville songs. They were just songs that I wanted to write and express. And you know, I was always a guitar player guy and pedal steel and different things like that. Making a living as a sideman. And so I didn't go there until I was 33 and we had one child, a year and a half old, and a second one on the way.
That's always a great time to chase your dream.
Yeah, and well, you know, there was a couple years of starving.
Sure.
No work, no publishing deal, nothing that would look like money. So we lived off of credit cards, and that only lasts so long. 18.9% seems to ring a bell back in the day. And then, you know, and then eventually I started getting some sessions, demos, and actually jingles. I played on Cadillac commercials and, you know, Eggo commercials and dog food commercials. But what that did is get me into the studio world a little bit, even though we're working on a 30-second or 60-second commercial. The same musicians who were on that call were then going over to, you know, something else, demos or master sessions, records. And so I got my foot in the door and then started networking, I suppose, you know, to get into those works. And then somewhere shortly after that, got a publishing deal there in Nashville, so there's that going on. And then it just sort of, you know, starts picking up, and people, you know the songs, know to hire me for being a multi-instrumentalist guy and whatever. Right. And so it just kind of went from there.
Well, and I, you know, like, you're not one to really just throw this out there, and I've done a little bit of digging to try to figure it out, and I still don't think I know the real answer. But so when you showed up in Nashville at 33 and you're saying, you know, you're talking about being a multi-instrumentalist, how many instruments do you play?
I'm not exactly sure. Here's one of the things about recording is versus, say, live playing. In a recording studio, you have a safety net. If you played something on an instrument that, say, I don't know terribly well, like some great banjo players, you know, I'm not one of those, but I could play enough banjo to get through most of the Nashville sessions that I was on, or enough mandolin or enough dobro or whatever, to get through, you know, a 4-chord song. So that means that I could, if I messed it up, I'll just re-record, you know, take me back to the top and let me go it again. I don't know, it's probably like a dozen or so instruments, so maybe.
Mandolin, banjo, dobro, lap steel, steel guitar, pedal steel,
keyboards,
acoustic electric keyboard,
acoustic electric bass, and I no one would hire me for drums, but I, you know, monkey with drums, and I played auto harps, and, you know, again, the recording studio has a safety net, you know, like, here, let me play an instrument I've never played before, but I can probably do well enough on the song to get me through it, you know, to get the sound.
You guys know that he's saying that like it's normal, but it's not. like that's not normal.
Well, but I have a good ear, and I always did as a kid. I have a good ear. and I can probably figure something out.
Yeah.
And so I could trust that. So I think that's why for a while people were hiring me on sessions, because I would bring a mandolin and play a mandolin part or a banjo and then play acoustic or go back and double or whatever. So those kind of skill sets, I got the side man in me, got that.
So with the Kentucky influences, you play bluegrass. Has bluegrass been a big part of?
Being from Kentucky, it's there. You can't escape it. It's there. Mountain music is kind of there. Church music is kind of there. Growing up in church. But, there was a time in country music radio, let's say certainly the 60s and everything ahead of that, where bluegrass and country were on the same station. That seems impossible to believe now, but there was a time when, and then the most major labels of bluegrass were in Nashville as well. And so it's funny how bluegrass and country were on the same thing for a while. And then somewhere when I guess bluegrass may have seemed like, well, we need to urbanize this country music stuff and let's say goodbye to our bluegrass cousins in the charts, and let's kind of leave that out there. They can have their own little deal. So bluegrass is definitely a part of my upbringing, but only I would say as it related to the general radio. So Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs and the Osborne Brothers and Bill Monroe and kind of the top of the top back then. It was that would have been in the top 20 back in 1965.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me shift gears to Texas, because that's what we like to do here. Talk about Texas.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, right. Well, you had some you had some young ladies that were steeped in a little bit of bluegrass as they were getting started in the country music world. Playing fairs and rodeos and every juke joint here in Texas. Who now go by the name The Chicks.
Yeah.
That took one of your songs to the top of the charts. I wonder if you would tell us about Long Time Gone and play that one for us.
Yeah. Long Time Gone is a song I wrote that actually started on the couch watching Saturday morning cartoons with my kids. They were like 6 and 8 and 9 and stuff like that. So I'm sitting there with a pad of paper, watching the cartoons sort of, and then writing this pad of paper, and I got far enough into what I was writing on the paper that was like, wait a minute, there's a song coming here. So I excused myself from the cartoons, and then I started working on this song, and so that's where it started, the song. And then at the time I was working with a friend of mine named Tim O'Brien, and he's big in the bluegrass world for sure, and the two of us had a duo thing. And so we were making our first album together, and I brought that song in for the two of us to do. And so the Dixie Chicks, as they were known then, were fans of me and Tim O'Brien and a bunch of other folks. Those gals and folks in the industry like that, they love music. It may be surprising, but they do. They love music and they listen to music and they seek it out. And so they were fans of our little humble album that Tim and I made. And so the reason I know is they took 2 songs off of that album and put it on their next album. And so they were fans and just they were also doing an album at that time. I think it was called Home or something like that. Maybe their 3rd album or so. And so they were shifting gears from sort of right down the middle of the pike, country music kind of going. And then this record that Natalie's dad, Lloyd Maines, produced. And it was more sort of back porchy. And so these songs of ours, are me and Tim's, Tim wrote one that they did, and then I wrote this one, Long Time Gone. So it fit into that format. And so they did it. So I was really pleased. Let me tell you another just little thing about that song. Is that cool?
Please, yeah.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
Okay, so here's how Nashville works. They have this thing called they put a song on hold. And what that means is someone in the publishing company pitched it to Sony. That's the label they were on, let's say. And they said, well, we'd like to hold that. So what happens in Nashville is one project that could hold, say, 12 songs, they'll put 40 songs on hold. And you don't know if you're one of the 12 that's going to get into the final gauntlet, right? And so there's months that go by that your song's on hold, and then you hear that they're recording it. Oh my God, they recorded it. Well, guess how many songs they record? A lot more than 12, okay? So then that's not meaning it's going to make it either. And so then I heard that they had recorded it, but didn't mean it's on the record. So then months go by again, and now it's released. Yeah, it made the record, but you don't know if it's going to be a single. It could just be on the record. Okay, hey, at least they recorded it and it's on the record. The first time I heard it, I was driving, just a couple of blocks from my house with the kids, and it came on the radio. And then it was like, and I heard it for the first time because I didn't get a copy, or no one said, hey, it's the first single. Wow. But it was the first single from that record. And when I heard it that first time, it was like, man, these gals are going to do it. I mean, this sounds great. They did a great job of it, and it's like, that's how I first heard it. And it was a really great moment for that. So that's some of the gauntlet for songwriters, is those different stages where it could fall right through the floor at any of those stages. Yeah, I'm on. Here we go. Now Daddy sits on the front porch swinging, looking out on a vacant field. Used to be filled with a bird at a back, and now it knows it never will. Brothers found work in Indiana, sisters a nurse at the old folks' home. Mama's still cooking too much for supper, and me, I've been a long time gone. Yeah, long time ago. I ain't hold a rose since I don't know when. Long time gone, and it ain't coming back again. Church piano, sitting out on her daddy's farm. She always thought we'd be together, but I never meant to do her harm. Said she could hear me singing in the choir. May I heard another song. I got wind and hit the road running, Lord, I've been a long time gone. Oh, a long time gone. I ain't had a prayer since I don't know when. Long time gone, and it ain't coming back again. Nashville, trying to be the big deal, playing down on Broadway, getting there the hard way, living from a tip jar, sleeping in my car, hawking my guitar. Yeah, I'm gonna be a star, a big, 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 big star. Now me and Delia sing every Sunday, watching the garden and the children grow. We listen to the radio to hear what's cooking, but that music ain't got no soul. No, they sound tired, but they don't sound haggard. They got money, but they don't have cash. They got money, they got Junior, but they don't have Hank. I think the rest is a long time ago. Well, I ain't honked the horn since I don't know when. Long time gone. Coming back, I said a long time ago. Well, I ain't hit the roof since I don't know when. Long time gone, and it ain't coming back again. Yeah, a long time, a long long time ago.
My favorite two lines in that song ever, because I mean, you listen to the version and it's rocking, and I mean, how many of you can identify with "I ain't honked the horn since I don't know when"? Where I mean, the music is so good that you're hitting the roof and honking the horn. I just love that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that excitement when it's right. Yeah, when you hear something, it's just like, man, they're doing it.
So did you honk the horn when you heard it that day?
I probably
Or did you just call your banker?
I just, turned it up, and the kids, we all heard it. I wish I had honked the horn. I should say yes, but I don't think I did.
That's all right.
But
we appreciate
now,
your
in retrospect,
honesty.
I should have honked the horn, because it was a good hit.
What a great record.
One.
And that record, you talk about Lloyd Maines and the record Home, and they almost completely renovated Cedar Creek Studios in Austin for the Chicks to come in and cut that record. And that was a big deal here in Texas, that they were cutting that record there, and that they were coming back.
Yeah, that's right.
They were coming back from Nashville, and they were coming back to Dad, to Lloyd, and cutting that record.
Yeah.
And that record was amazing. That record had great tracks on it.
Yeah,
What was
great.
the other, the you and Tim songs on that record?
Yeah, it was Tim, and Gary Nicholson wrote a song called More Love.
Okay.
Was on that record. Yeah, they cut that as well. But the main thing was that it was like acoustic instruments instead of, like Lloyd played dobro on that track of the Chicks. And acoustic guitars, and mandolins and stuff like that. Fiddles, of course. But it was you're right. It wasn't cut in Nashville. It was them saying, deal. Hey, we can do this right here in our state. Yeah, absolutely.
That was very cool. So, I love that song. Now, you've mentioned several times as we've talked about some of the different genres of music, as well as the places that you spent time growing up, just about the influence of gospel music and the influence of church, and your family being a musical family. Was a lot of the beginning days of music in your family centered around church, centered around gospel music?
Yeah, it was. It was right there with country music. Okay. Church music is certainly what we did on Sunday and Wednesday night. It was just, it was part, the Broadman hymnal. Coming from Kentucky, there's also a thread of gospel music that's not in the Broadman hymnal. That's the hymnal that's in the Southern Baptist churches. But there's, more mountain kind of gospel-y church stuff. And I grew up on that stuff too, sort of the mountain, back porch, front porch, church, in a small southern church kind of way too.
Well, and you mentioned, we talked over dinner, and then we talked a little bit upstairs before, about the fact that you've got a lot of music in the can, on the hard drives, that you're getting out to your fans in a scheduled format. But one of the projects that you've worked on was a gospel-centric project with your father before he passed. Tell us a little bit about that. And I wonder, would you play us a song from there?
Yeah, and actually the gospel-centric thing is with my brothers.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yep.
But I also did a record with my dad, for sure, that just came out a couple months ago. His second record. So when Dad was in his 70s, 72, I started recording him because, I could record, I could call up musicians and engineers, and actually Guy Clark was a friend, and I was in Guy Clark's recording band on his records at the time, and so I could call Guy, and Guy came in and sang with my dad on the very first tune, actually. But yeah, the record that I was talking about, this gospel-centric, was with my brothers, because we did grow up that way. So we knew country music and we knew gospel kind of stuff back in the day.
And is that one already out, or is it coming out?
It's coming out sometime this later summer or early fall.
Gotcha. Well, can we get an exclusive?
Okay.
And have you play one of those for us? And by the way, I know there's a few of you out there that got, Guy Clark came in and sang with my dad on a song. That's like a big deal. We're going to talk more about Guy, because I'm going to ask you about a question, a song in just a minute.
Yeah.
But the gospel song.
Yeah, so when I say gospel-centric, I'll give you an example. This song I'm about to do, we'll talk a little bit about what that means. So why don't I just do the song? So my older brother, who passed away 3 or 4 years ago, he was our leader. As my brothers, he was the older brother. He was an excellent guitar player at age 12 and 14 and stuff. So he was the guitarist of the family, which meant I was the bass player of the family, because he was so good at 12 and I was 6, so I played bass. So I knew where all the foundations were in the composition stuff, so I could try to keep up with them. But anyway, he also loved Glenn Campbell. And so here's a Glenn Campbell song that I did with my brothers that shows you kind of gospel-centric, or at least the positive message thing, but also turns it back from the way Glenn Campbell did it. And we did it sort of like this. If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seeds he's sown, and if you see your sister falling by the way, just stop and say, girl, you're going the wrong way. You've got to try. Just show a little kindness. Just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. Lend a helping hand instead of your doubts. And the kindness that you show every day is surely gonna help someone along life's way. You've got to try a little kindness. Just show a little kindness. Just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded streets. You've got to try a little kindness. Everyone show a little kindness. Just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street.
Are y'all having a good time tonight so far? Is everybody doing all right? Okay. So you mentioned Guy Clark, and I'm remembering now, I think, and this may help us put a little closer time stamp on when we did this last, I'm amazed by the number of projects that you've played on and the people you've played with in the studio as well as live. And I think, if I remember correctly, see if this jogs your memory, but you were leaving from Houston to go somewhere and cut with Sheryl Crow.
Oh. Okay, yeah, and I did.
Okay, now,
yeah.
so,
but
and here's what I remember. I remember, like, he said something during the show, like, yeah, I got to be in a blah, 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 and tomorrow I'm flying in to cut with Sheryl Crow, and I thought, why are you here? Like,
because I'm working.
Okay.
I'm a working
Sheryl Crow,
stiff.
you've played, I don't know how many projects you've played on. There's not those stats out there. But obviously, as a kid that grew up, my musical years in the 70s, right, when I really started to dig into music. What's it like being on the road and being in a band with Robert Plant?
Oh, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Here's what's really funny is I wasn't listening to Led Zeppelin when it was happening.
Okay.
I was too square. I was listening to Merle Haggard and George Jones and Waylon Jennings and, stuff like that. I wasn't cool enough to listen to Led Zeppelin. But, I'd hear the obvious things on the radio, the giant hits. But I was never one of those kids who learned, Jimmy Page guitar licks or, things like that. I just wasn't cool enough. So when I did get to play with Robert Plant, and it was on a Band of Joy record that he did after the Alison Krauss thing. Robert likes to move around a lot creatively. Like he'll do an Allison thing, and then he'll go do something totally different, and then he'll leave that and go do. So he's just this moving figure, and I like that about Robert. And anyway, I was in the recording band, so I was the multi-instrumentalist guy for a 4-piece band backing Robert on this record. And Robert, being Robert, he said, well, this is the band I want out on the road, and we're session players. And that usually doesn't happen, but it's Robert Plant. And so we did. So about 6 months later, the record came out, and we spent the next year and a half traveling with Robert Plant. In his band, we added Patty Griffin to that. So then we were a 5-piece band plus Robert. And here's one of the coolest things about that time. Robert's done it all, okay? And here he's doing this record with us, and he didn't want his own bus. He wanted to ride in the bus that we were in, so we all drove together. And that's just kind of, if you know the sort of hero thing out there, they always get their own bus and their own entourage and everything, but Robert was right in there in the same bunks, as we were in. And that's just kind of an example of what that time was like, One of the coolest things was, after shows, sometimes, it didn't happen all the time, but where Buddy Miller, who was our band leader guy, and Robert would play a jukebox. And so Robert would play a song off of his playlist on his iPhone or whatever of some great old blues thing or an old Texas, guitar player or something. And then Buddy would play something. And then they would go back and forth and just like, PhD level in roots music. So those were cool. That was cool as could be. Yeah. But also to sing harmony with Robert and Patty and to play leads with Buddy Miller, that was very cool.
That's crazy.
Very, very cool stuff.
That's great. Okay, so let's go back to Guy Clark, who in the songwriting world holds as much reverence as anybody that I know.
Yeah, that's right.
And you and Guy were friends. You and Guy were co-writers, and there's a song called Out in the Parking Lot that you guys wrote together. Tell us about that one. I wonder if you play it for us.
Yeah, I will. So Guy and I, when we first met, we met as songwriters put together we were both writing for a company called EMI, big old publishing company. And what publishing companies like to do is put together songwriters and mix chemicals. Like, hey, this guy's got a record deal. Guy, why don't you write with him? And, see if you guys can come up. So it was one of those things. And I was the guy at the time who had a record deal. And so we got together to write a song. And I'm meeting Guy really for the first time, and we write just a terrible song. Just a terrible song. And so terrible that he would never record it, and so terrible that I would never record it.
Who recorded it?
Nobody. Nobody knows about it. I have a way of burying stuff. Okay. I'm like a cat. If I want to bury something, I can do it. And so nobody recorded it because it's just a terrible song. Who wants to record a known terrible song? And then a few years later, now I'm in Guy's recording band. So when I started on the album Dublin Blues, if you all know that album. That was the first record I played on. And so then I play on the next 3, so 4 in total of Guy Clark albums back in the sort of mid-'90s through maybe early 2000s. Anyway, Guy asked me over to his house to work on a song and so here's the second time I'm getting together as a songwriter, not just him being the leader of his recording thing. And he's got the lyrics to Out in the Parking Lot. And Guy had probably 12 verses in there instead of the song would hold 4 or 6 verses, something like that, partial verses. So he overwrote, and that's something that Guy would do, I found. Anyway, I'm over at his house and trying to put a tune to these really cool lyrics of Out in the Parking Lot, and it ain't happening. I try a Texas shuffle or this or that, or whatever. None of it worked. It was all phony kind of feeling stuff. And so we're sitting there stumped, and it's hard to be in a room with Guy Clark, the Guy Clark, and nothing's happening. Like it's not happening, and you're just, man, what do we do now? And out of the silence, he said, how would Bruce Springsteen do this? And as soon as he said that, I started on the riff that became sort of the thing that set us up on this. And the lyrics were right there on the table between us. He had a bunch of lyrics. And I just started singing now with this new prompt that he gave me about Springsteen. And so I started off with this thing and reading those lyrics, and we wrote the chorus then together, and then I added a verse too, and then we just edited it down to this right here. Sitting on the fender of someone else's truck, drinking Old Crow whiskey, hot 7-Up out in the parking lot. You can hear the band playing right through the wall, and there ain't no cover charge, ain't no last call out in the parking lot. There's a couple of cowpokes putting up their dukes. Well, there really wasn't much to it after both of them puked out in the parking lot. Then someone called the police, and the police finally came, and they wrote out a couple of tickets and wrote down a couple of names out in the out in the parking lot. Whoops, there's a couple who couldn't wait to get home. They're probably in love, so let's just leave them alone out in the parking lot. And the band is on the bus, they're all loaded up to leave, and the drummer's got a girlfriend tugging at his sleeve out in the parking lot. I love to see the neon dancing on the gravel. I love to hear the pickup trucks come on and gravel, and some have given up, some have given in. Sure looks like everybody's looking for a friend out in the parking lot. Well, the night is finally over. They've shot out all the lights, and the dust begins to settle. And it's never been so quiet out in the parking lot.
That's great. Oh, man. Are y'all doing okay out there? Yeah. Is everybody good? Okay, this is one of those audience participation moments, all right? Darrell, I need a liner for the start of the radio program. Okay, so if you'll say, this is Darrell Scott, and this is real life, real music.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. Yeah, don't move the hat.
I won't. I'll leave it right here. This is Darrell Scott, and this is real life, real music. And then I need y'all to like go nuts until I tell you to stop. Okay?
This is Darrell Scott, and this is real life, real music.
Perfect. All right.
Boy, y'all get excited.
They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I told you guys I like to call these my Porter Wagner moments without the sequins. When I remind you who helped us make tonight possible. Again, I can't say thank you enough to my co-presenting sponsors, Destination Bryan Lake Walk, and the beautiful Stella Hotel, where we get to hold this wonderful listening opportunity. And to my corporate partners that make tonight possible, starting with my friends. We've got a group of them here tonight. It's their second year to sponsor our program, and it's the folks out at Blue Forge Alliance. And I don't know how many of you know what Blue Forge Alliance does every day, but they are working hard to make sure that we're able to do what we're doing tonight, and that is that we can gather in public places because of the freedom that we're all afforded in the place that we live. and Blue Forge Alliance works as a nonprofit entity in conjunction with the Department of the Navy to make sure that we have the tools that we need in order to maintain the way of life that we have, specifically as it relates to submarine technology. And you can learn more about them at blueforgealliance.com.org. .us, blueforgealliance.us. So thank you guys, and thanks for always being here and using your seats and loving music and being a part of this. Yeah. And then my other friends, I mean, they are hometown favorites here, and you see them everywhere because they're a staple in the athletic community and also and really foremost and founded, I believe, in the music community. And that's my friends at CC Creations. And Kenny and Lena, I wanted to tell you, I saw something, really especially heartwarming today that was posted by the Junk Gypsies on their Instagram, where they came and toured your facility, which you were gracious enough to walk me through one day, and it's an amazing feat of technology that they have going on just on the north end of Bryan, Texas. 40,000 t-shirts a day you can put out of that facility. It's pretty crazy. Well, what the Junk Gypsies were in there doing in conjunction with CC Creations was creating a shirt that's being sold to benefit victims of what happened last week with all the flooding, specifically in Kerr County, but all over the Hill Country. And yeah, absolutely. And you guys are involved in so much of that, and not only give back to the culture of the community that you're in through what you're doing here with the Stella sessions, but you do that in big ways. They ordered 10,000 shirts today. Man, that's crazy. So go to Junk Gypsies, go to their website and pick up one of those shirts. I mean, listen, if you like band merchandise or that kind of stuff, how many of your favorite bands right now, because so many of them are centered around the Hill Country, are just given 100% of the proceeds? Robert Earl Keen, there's different acts out there that right now, I mean, go outfit your wardrobe because the bands are giving all the money to flood victims, and so we'll give them that quick plug. But thank you, Blue Forge Alliance. Thank you, CC Creations. Y'all give them a big round of applause. I want to play a song for you, Darrell, that, and I want to play this one because somebody reposted this song, and I wrote it with fellow Aggie that we kind of cut our teeth writing songs when we should have been studying. But we got together and wrote this song after Hurricane Harvey, and it's one of those ones now that every once in a while after some sort of, natural disaster, and in some ways you hate that that's what brings it up, but that's what we wrote it about. I mean, we wrote this to try to provide some comfort to our friends and our neighbors down in the Houston area and south that were suffering after the hurricane, and to see it posted this past week. After my wife and I had the opportunity to pick our girls up from camp simply because of the fact that they were in camp in northeast Texas, not along the Guadalupe River. That's perspective. And so I'll play this song tonight because we've been thinking about this a lot lately around our house. She was softly praying as the storm was bearing down. Now everything's in ruins and scattered on the ground. And she cries, I don't even know how I'll make it through today. But deep down she has something the rain can't wash away. when there's faith in the water and love in these streets and worry on the faces of the people I meet. But there's a resurrection coming for the world to see. There's faith in the water and love in these streets. And he said, I can't walk on water, but I can drive my boat and reach out to a stranger just trying to stay afloat. Hey, and I drove down from Fort Worth when I saw it on the news. There's some things you gotta think about, and there's some things you just do. When there's faith in the water and love in these streets and hope on the faces of the people I meet, and there's a resurrection coming for the world to see. There's faith in the water and love in these streets. And we've been battered by the wind and baptized in the flood. Oh, but there are angels down here in the sweat and in the blood. And there's faith in the water and love in these streets. A hallelujah chorus singing over me. And there's a resurrection coming, and I believe that there is faith in the water and love in these streets. Faith in the water and love in these streets. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's heavy stuff, you know, that those families are going through, and, you know, yeah, go buy a t-shirt. Go help them out. Have y'all had a good time tonight? Yeah. So, we got time for a couple more, and before I'm going to specifically ask for you to close us with a song. It's a song that I've had a bunch of chances to listen to this one because I've done a lot of shows with my buddy who recorded it, and we claim it. You had another Nashville act that made it really famous, but we claim it.
I understand
for ours.
Y'all did it first.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. But you pick one before we get to that one. I want you to pick another one, and Darrell, just, you know, before we're kind of coming around the curve to finish this evening. I remember now why I wanted you back so much. I love your music. I appreciate your spirit. Thank you for carrying on the tradition of Glenn Campbell and Guy Clark and Johnny Cash and Waylon and your heroes. And thank you for passing it along to other people.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you.
All right. What do you want to play for us?
Oh, let's see. Let's try this thing right here.
I may even make you play a couple more after this. But
okay.
While we got you here.
There's an ancient wind blowing across the rolling hills tonight. The sun is setting red in Oklahoma, and I have come back here to earn a dime and sing a song or two, and bear witness in this big world I've been roaming. I remember Mom and Dad working working in the red dirt fields. My childhood fear of hellfire everlasting. And Dad only speaking Cherokee by the light of black and white TV. I didn't know it then, but we were passing. Born into Kentucky, Kentucky's born into me. From Scot-Irish blood, or so they tell me. White Southerner, American, landowner of the free. Has always felt like words they tried to sell me. So I learned to hide my southern tongue up in the great white north. Spoke when spoken to, or when they asked me. And I showed up to the job on time. You minded yours, I minded mine. But time was not the only thing passing. I too was passing. Passing. And what is passing? When your black tries to white, and your white tries to black, and you're broken on the inside from everything you lack. When your love turns to hate, and your hate turns to please. When you're running from yourself, it'll bring you to your knees. That is passing. With a paintbrush in my hand, coloring the shadows that still haunt me. Men in white hoods, do good, sad-eyed Jesus ruled my neighborhood. Well, you can send your Satan now if he wants me. Every morning I'm awakened by possibility. No angry God is welcome at my door. And I know that I stand for more than you can see. Oh, I will not lie in silence anymore. And I know that I am dying. I know you are dying too. The soul that we've encased comes unfastened. And we fall and we fly forever to the great unknown. Hallelujah, Jubilee, we are passing. And we will only be remembered for the one we came to be. Hallelujah, Jubilee, we are passing. There's an ancient wind blowing across Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice. All right. I almost forgot to remind you guys, first off, if you're in here on borrowed tickets tonight, like somebody let you use their tickets, well, you'll have to talk them into some of the next shows, okay? On August, let's see, I can't read anymore, but August 11th, my buddy Drew Womack, amazing #1 hit singer-songwriter. He's currently the front man for the band Lone Star. You guys do not want to miss Drew Womack. And then, who was it? Somebody in here came up to me before. Our newest addition to the lineup is on September 22nd, Courtney Patton. How many of you were here for the Jason Eady show? A few of us? Yeah, somebody came up to me and went, oh, okay, so now we get Courtney's side of the story. Courtney and Jason divorced. So, sorry, that was bad. Maybe we will edit that out of the podcast. I don't know. And then on October the 6th, we're going to have a really special edition of the show when we bring in some up and coming. And when I say up and coming, like I wouldn't have them on the show if they weren't already great, but they're getting their start here in the Brazos Valley, and we're going to make them feel like the superstars that they are, and you're going to love them. It's going to be an inspiring night with new talent, Molly McDonald and Randy Hoyt. And then we've got great shows the rest of the year. I've got Django Walker's going to come in and sing his dad, Jerry Jeff songs, and tell us Jerry Jeff stories. We've got Leroy Parnell is going to finish the year off for us. It's going to be a really, really fun time here for the rest of our time together in 2025. And then on the back of the upcoming Stella sessions is the part of the confirmed lineup, the ones that we can announce for our Bryan, Texas Songwriter Festival, first year ever. Again, CC Creations, Blue Forge Alliance, Destination Bryan, the Bryan Business Council, all sponsors of the event. Check out the lineup. I mean, we just confirmed Caitlin Butts. She just had her first Billboard charting single. We've got Corey Morrow, Colby Cooper, Band of Heathens, Tejas Brothers, Roger Krager, Jamie Wilson, and a whole lot more. Max and Heather Stalling. It's going to be October 24th and 25th. You guys know my heart for songwriting. We're doing two things with this festival. We have a VIP experience, which is for two reasons. Number one, because we have limited venue space in downtown Bryan at the Stafford, the Palace, upstairs at Hush and Whisper, downstairs in the LaSalle at the Boiler Room. And we are going to provide some intimate songwriter interactions with you guys if you have the VIP wristband, all right? Now, the other thing about the VIP side of it, in addition to our sponsors, it's how we pay for the other part of it that's really important, and that's the free to the public aspect of it, okay? I caught the songwriting bug and the music bug, and it's made my life better. And we don't want there to be a financial limitation for somebody to bring their family to downtown Bryan whose kid is going to catch the music bug, and it's going to become an important part of his or her life and their experience moving forward. So DOT has agreed to block off William J. Bryan Parkway. We're going to put a big old stage right at Bryan Avenue facing the tracks, and we're going to have room for 2,000 or 3,000 people. I've got some of my singer-songwriter buddies from the Tejano world with the Tejas Brothers. We've got the Band of Heathens, alt-rock out of Austin, Texas. We've got Caitlin Butts, Colby Cooper. We've got students from the School of Visual and Performing Arts at A&M that are going to be involved. And it's going to be a great celebration of music and songwriting in downtown Bryan. So here's what I need you to do. Tomorrow, KBTX was in here earlier interviewing us and getting footage. They're going to announce our lineup tomorrow. Go to the website, Bryan TX Songwriter Festival, take that with you, and it's on there, and buy your VIP wristbands. Right now, if you buy them tonight, before we change it tomorrow, before the lineup announcement, you'll get the Stella Sessions price for the VIP wristbands, okay? We're going to change that link tomorrow before the announcement, and the price is going to go up, all right? So we're doing that for you because you support what we're doing here. We want to give you another reason to go ahead and buy the tickets now. So do that. We've got 2 sponsorship opportunities left. If there's anybody in here that believes in what we're doing and wants to be a part of helping us deliver this music to people, both in a VIP experience and free of charge, come talk to me or email me. We'd love to talk to you about having you on board. And then if you're not, go buy your VIP wristbands, come hang out with us for a beautiful weekend in the fall. Somewhere we're going to set up the city's Jumbotron so we can watch A&M beat the hell out of LSU. It's an away game. So just come hang out with us. It's going to be a great day of music. All right, that's my pitch. I am going to ask you about 2 more songs, if that's okay.
Okay.
You had a big hit with Sarah Evans.
Yeah.
Do you play that one?
I've done it a couple of times, but it's one of those things where it's so Sarah. Yeah. It's like so signature her song, like a career song, really, that I helped to write. I just was thinking this past week, you know what? I need to learn my own song that I helped to write. So it's a song of hers called "Born to Fly."
It's a great song.
And it really is a career song for her. And but I never really learned it, for myself to do it. I knew it was Sarah's, and sometimes that happens when I write, especially with artists, we're writing for them, so to speak. And so that's one of those that just got welded in my head that it's Sarah's song, not my song. So I've done it a couple of times, but I have to have the lyrics and. But I promise you, I will learn that thing. I should after all
Next
these
time we
things.
do this, a decade from now. No, we're not going to wait a decade. We're not going to wait a decade to do this.
It'll be my first song.
Perfect.
Next time.
I like it. Okay.
And I'm sorry that I haven't learned it. It is ridiculous.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
Born to Fly, Sarah Evans. Listen to it on the way home tonight. Okay, so then we're gonna switch gears because I got to tell you, it's been a rough time around Texas for a lot of people here.
Yeah.
You have a song that has become an anthem of sorts. Mm-hmm. I think you've now called it, after watching it become this, a song that belongs to the people. The people that sing it back to you when you sing it. The people that sing it back to the artists that perform it. By the way, of which a Texan named Corey Morrow, along with his buddy Pat Green, were the first ones to ever record this song.
They were the first ones, that's true.
And then some sneaky Nashville record producer got it to Travis Tritt, and the rest is history. But we like Corey's version better.
Yeah, no, I very much remember that. That Corey and Pat were the first ones to do it. I mean, I did it first, actually.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't have much distribution. And but yeah, I recorded on my first album called Aloha from Nashville. And here's a funny story. Travis Tritt was the 4th act with a major label deal in Nashville to record it. Okay. They never released it. 3 other acts did it, and then they lose their deal or all those kinds of things. You know what I mean? It's kind of typical, music industry, Nashville-centric story. And then I knew that Corey and Pat had done it, and I was like, well, there it is right there. Mm. And then it seemed like weeks later, days or something, Travis did it and made it into this big anthem thing that we kind of know about. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful song. It is a soul uplifting song, and I can't think of a more appropriate way to close out our show.
Yeah, it sounds right.
So thank you again for being here with us.
Hey, thanks, Kyle. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. And here's what you got to do. If you know it, sing along on the chorus. Don't do it on the verse, because I'll pull a Willie Nelson and I'll change the timing so much that we all look foolish. But wait for the chorus.
Hey, and before he starts the strum, we're going to have some Darrell Scott merchandise out here after the show. So on your way out, if you want to pick something out, stop, say hello. He's just as nice in person as he is on stage.
And you'll see my wife out there. There she is, the silver fox. She's out there. Yeah, come and say hello. And thanks for having me sing along on the chorus, okay? I got rice cooking in the microwave. I got a 3-day beard I don't plan to shave, and it's a goofy thing, but I just gotta say, hey man, I'm doing alright. Yeah, I think I'll make me some homemade soup. I'm feeling pretty good, and that that's the gospel truth. It's neither drink nor drug induced. No, I'm just doing alright. And it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. It's some hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good? It's been 15 years since I left home and said good luck to every seed I'd sown. I gave it my best, then I left it alone. I hope they're doing alright. Now, red bird, what do you see? He says, I see a lone wolf looking at me. Head in the clouds, but harmless as a tree. Good God, I guess he's doing alright. And it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. It's some hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good? Sometimes it's lonely, but sometimes it's only me and all of the shadows that fill this room. Sometimes I'm falling, desperately calling, and I'm howling at the moon. Ah, ooh. Well, it's a colorful life that we go through, don't you think? It's neither black or white, nor just shades of blue. Now maybe I'll grow me a Fu Manchu. Oh, yeah, oh, it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. It's some hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good? It's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. It's some hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good? Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Darrell Scott.